What's next? Radiation-resistant polyolefins in the medical sector with Anja Gottschalk. She's with us at remote. And raw materials and their manufacturers need to be involved. We hear this as a mantra over the whole day on our fair today in projects as early as possible. There are technical data, but Borealis goes beyond when it comes to their medical-grade plastic polyolefins, extended mechanical data, extraction data, sterilization studies. This offers advantages during the material selection process already. Do certain materials work with certain sterilization processes? No need to worry because extended data give comprehensive compatibility information up front. Anja Gottschalk is, as mentioned, with us. She's an application engineer at Borealis. She joined the company back in 2016 as application development engineer healthcare, responsible for the European and Asian markets. And she has 25 plus years experience in the plastics industry in application development, technical service, and material management in automotive, packaging, and healthcare. What's next? Radiation-resistant polyolefins in the medical sector. Now with Anja Gottschalk, her impulse first, and then we talk about it in our Q&A session. So you're welcome to put your questions into Slido, into our whenever you want during the speech, you can do so. Please.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction, and thank you for the opportunity to present here our company, our data, our approach to the medical industry. Few words to Borealis. I think maybe in this audience it's not so widely known who we are. So we are number 2 polyolefin producer in Europe, Austrian-based, owned to 75% by OMV, so the Austrian mineral oil company, and integrated at the moment also in their sites. Head office in Vienna, lots of patents, recycling, sustainability is a topic on our side, but also medical grade plastics. Which leads me to the next slide, just to explain a little bit the idea behind the medical grade. So we do have a branded portfolio of polyethylene and polypropylene, which comes with the 3 pillars of commitment, conformance, and service. So the first one, the commitment. The material comes with a consistent product recipe. This is guaranteed by a rigorous change procedure. We do have a continuity of supply for these materials. We guarantee this via technical delivery specification that we do with our customers, which is explaining when we inform customers on which changes, how long is the notification period, which is in our case standardly 2 years. There is a last call volume that can be ordered in case of any changes or deletions, and combined with a 3-year shelf life that we give under certain storage conditions on our materials, there would be up to 5 years time to do changes. And we learned in the last presentation that especially these approval processes can be quite long, 2.5 years plus. So at least this is something we are taking into consideration and offer in our product package that comes with the material. We are ISO 9001 certified. We do not hold any GMP or other ISO certifications related to the healthcare industry, medical devices or packaging. However, we think that we need to do a bit more for our healthcare grades. And so we do have an internal operating procedure, our PO 4047, which is bridging a little bit these gaps. So we are coming close to the certifications that are done usually in the healthcare industry. And we are really covering everything, starting at the development via production, the storage, and also the supply chain towards the customer. Second pillar is the conformance. So we are testing our materials externally according to European Pharmacopoeia, US Pharmacopoeia, and ISO 10903. These analysis reports can be shared on request, so that's something we are doing. Also here, however, we need to state that the ISO 10903 is a testing that needs to be done for approvals on the final item. So what we are doing, we're doing it on granules because we don't know the final item and we cannot test every final item that our customers would produce. So at least the customer can be sure that the material that they buy as such already complies. So the probability that also the final item applies then to the 10993 is very high. So better than to start with a material that's not compliant at all. All the materials do hold a Drug Master File listing in the US. And we're following the VDI guidelines on medical grade plastics. So this was established in 2017. So it's the VDI 2017 that's giving this guideline on what is a medical grade plastic and setting the minimum base for such a grade. At the moment, we are just renewing this, we are updating it, and we're also in contact with the ISO committee to put this into an ISO technical report to hopefully have this definition then also valid to be used worldwide. So the third pillar is the service. So as already told in the introduction, we are going a little bit beyond what this standard offer would give. So we also give recipe disclosures for our materials under secrecy agreement, but we're also doing extractable profiles in water, ethanol, and hexane on the pellets again. So to give a base on the extractable studies that later need to be done on the final item to provide help to design these extractable studies and also maybe for choosing material already. And we do have a globally available dedicated team. So you heard already, I'm also responsible for the Asian market. A colleague of mine is looking into the US, and for sure we are available in Europe. So why is it so important to involve a material supplier from the start? That's the main question that we want to tackle. And the answer is quite easy, because not all polyolefins can be sterilized in the same way. So that's for sure only one point, but we're looking here into sterilization. And for us, the information on the sterilization method is really, really important to make a proposal for a suitable grade for your final application. So here, just a brief overview. Looking into polypropylene. Ethylene oxide, no problem. Steam sterilization for a polypropylene, that's fine. Most of them are resistant up to 121, most types even up to 132. Gamma radiation, a polypropylene as such is not resistant. It gets yellow, its mechanical properties decrease, so there is a special additive package needed. E-beam irradiation, it's partly resistant depending on the PP type. Looking into polyethylene, independently if it's low density or high density polyethylene, ethylene oxide, suitable for all of them. Looking into steam sterilization here for an HDPE, it might work. Also here, depending a little bit on the type, you're coming close to the melting point. It's getting very soft. However, generally, it should work with 121 degrees. Looking into an LDPE, so the very, very soft ones, or even it's a softer version with a lower melting point, they do not meet 121 degrees. So the melting point is below that. And we recommend to stay at least 5 degrees below the melting point. So here it depends really on the LDPE that you have. Can be somewhere the melting point between 110 and 117 degrees. So if you're lucky, you can stay above 110, but then for sure you have a much longer time for the sterilization. For gamma radiation, also here it's easy again. It's in general resistant. It tends to cross-link what's normally making the mechanical properties a bit better. Also here, slight yellowing can still occur, but this should be normally not an issue. And E-beam irradiation, that's also here a bit better. It's resistant. So how can Borealis support? So besides the typical technical data that you find in the technical data sheet, we did some measurements on top. So for all the grades, we have tensile data, flex data, Sharpie, Vickert, heat deflection, so all the standard stuff. We did it for some representative grades, also at elevated temperatures, as well as the coefficient of linear thermal expansion. We do have mole flow data of all of our Bormed grades, as well as rheological data. We can provide touch and feel samples. Hardness, we also measured on representative samples. Optics is also available. and also the data we have on gamma sterilization and beta, we did on some representative grades, and this is what I want to show you now. Polypropylene, that's what we are looking at. And we start with one of our grades that has a gamma additive package. So it's the HDA10MO homopolymer with a gamma stabilization package, melt flow of 10. Usually typical application would be plungers for syringes. So we see that the flex mod is staying quite stable after radiation at 25 and 50 kilogray. The impact is going down a bit from 7 to 5, still acceptable. Looking at the yellowness, that's okay for most of the storage time, 25 kilogray, not an issue. With the 50 kilograde, it gets a bit yellow. And so, but for colored articles, it's not critical. For non-colored articles, it's up to the customer to decide if this yellowing still is an issue for them or not. The second grade would be a random copolymer, RF830MO. Here we see it behaves much better. So the numbers are closer together. So also here, it's more a little bit measurement related things that we see. And here we see that the yellowing, that of course is much, much less. So this is the grade to use if you have non-colored articles, transparent articles. So it's also a high transparent grade. And it's often used in diagnostic consumables so that you really can see, no yellowness or only a slight yellowness afterwards. Then we did some trials in E-beam irradiation, and that was quite an interesting study for us. So we are not looking into the results that we have. So if you're interested in that, you're welcome to come back to me later. However, so we just have a comparison table here. So we find here the results we had here for the gamma radiation. So we saw for the yellowing, the HDA10 was not as good. Looking into E-beam, the both grades that we have with the gamma additive pack look really, really good. But then the other three grades do not hold an additive pack. So this is also a random copolymer, similar to the RF830. It shows very similar values. So this could be an option to also to try it without a special additive package. But also looking into the homopolymer and a block copolymer, they show a little bit higher changes in the impact. So they get a bit more brittle, but it's still in an acceptable range and up to the customer to decide if this is good enough. It has the advantage of lower additives, means lower extractables, so could really be an option to try. Yeah, so with this, we think it's really of high importance to involve the raw material suppliers, because only we as a raw material supplier can give these data to you, and really to make sure that you choose the right medical grade for your applications. So materials are available for the different radiation processes, and we are for sure supporting every development action on your side with our advanced mechanical data, with extractable studies, and also with this additional sterilization studies that we did. Let's reinvent, and happy to hear if you have any questions to me.
Thank you so much, Anja Gottschalk, for this very quick summary. And there are two initial quick questions for you. One is, what's the initial industry response to those products?
Yeah, they're widely used. So I think that they're well known in the industry. They're already on the market for a quite long time. So at least the products that we have with this additivation pack, and they do their job. So that's what I can say. They're working well and are well accepted.
Also, is this in any form a work in progress, that the research is going on and the material research, especially, of course, in respect to radiation sterilization, goes on, and we can expect more to come?
Yes, it is for sure. So we're looking always into possibilities to make our polymers resistant. So there are other possibilities. The question is always, is the market ready to get a new grade? So that's always a little bit the pity in healthcare. Yes, we would have better solutions, but as long as the grades we have are running, the customers are often not willing to accept something new to change. So, but yes, for sure. Internally, we are looking into that, and we have good solutions. So in case for the next development that we are thinking of, we are on a good way.
Thank you so much at this point, Anja Gottschalk, Borealis, for this journey through your materials. We truly enjoyed this.